River is a British detective show that came out in 2015 and tells the story of a detective who is dealing with a mental illness after the death of his partner. What makes this show, or miniseries actually, for it's only 6 episodes long, great, is one word: writing. River was created and written by Abi Morgan, who also created the show The Hour, and is one of my favorite writers of all time, movie or TV show. But I think Morgan is the best at doing one thing, and that's showing, not telling. The old rule of show, not tell applies to a lot more mediums than just screenwriting. It is used in novel writing, newspapers or magazines, research papers, you get the point. Basically, it means that instead of telling the viewer how an action or event happens, you instead show how it happens. For example, instead of telling us that a guy's friend betrayed him, you would show how the guy's friend betrayed him and leave the viewer to connect the dots. However, Morgan uses this rule in River not because there's too much exposition otherwise, but it's to have the viewer, us, think one thing and then prove us wrong. To explain this, I'm going to use the first around 9 minutes of the first episode, and I'm going to be giving away major spoilers, so I stress you to see at least the first episode before viewing this video. Anyway, on to the scene. Immediately, the scene starts in medias res, which is Latin for in the middle. Basically, instead of detailing the life of River from his childhood, it starts in the middle. In other words, at a drive-thru burger place. What's also interesting is the song that's playing in the background for the first few minutes. The song is Mambo No. 5 by Lou Bega, and the song is about how you get people to know you love them. This relates to River because John River, the main character, played perfectly by Stellan Skarsgård, is faced with the death of his partner, Stevie, played by Nicola Walker. Throughout the show, the relationship between these two people is explored, and is revealed to be that River was in love with Stevie, but he could never find a time or place or way to tell her. And the song that's playing over the beginning of the show is talking about how to tell a girl you love her. Can I tell your order? Then we continue with a conversation with River and Stevie at the burger drive-thru. Here's where the spoilers come in. What's interesting about this scene is that Stevie is the one who is giving River all the instructions. Here, she's telling him what to order.
Burger, extra cheese, no onions.
What's nice about the way River responds is that he gets the order wrong, instead saying,
Burger, cheese, onion.
What's nice about this response is that the first time you watch it, you just see it as a playful conversation between two partners. But once you find out that Stevie is actually dead, more on that later, you realize that River is being told what to do and messing up what another part of his conscience is telling him to do, even forgetting to order a milkshake and going around and ordering it separately.
Look, you'll have to go back round again. How many points do you think in a glass of wine?
Now, after the order, River and Stevie are talking in the car. What's interesting about this is that they're talking about how many points in Weight Watchers certain foods have.
Bit of olive. 19 points. 19.
It is revealed later in the series that Stevie's relative, Frankie, is on Weight Watchers, and this is a clever way of foreshadowing what's to come. And if Stevie were actually alive, because of Frankie, this would probably be something on her mind. Overall, a nice touch by Morgan.
Karaoke. All in the dressing.
Another thing that is mentioned in this conversation is the prospect of...
Should take a holiday.
What's interesting about this is that it is Stevie who mentions River going on a holiday, to which River replies,
I hate holidays. Bit of sun, bit of karaoke.
After some very believable mentions of River's Swedish origins and the bands that are Swedish, the radio turns on to the second song we hear in the first 9 minutes, I Love to Love by Tina Charles.
It's Tina Charles with a classic disco anthem.
This song is a major part of the series, and we hear it echoed throughout this episode and the rest of the series. What makes this song be perfect for the series is the fact that the song talks about a forbidden love between two people, which is similar to that of Stevie and River. This song mentions that another thing this song does is bring the characters together, and I feel like we wouldn't care as much for River if it wasn't for his relationship with Stevie. After the credits go by and we hear Stevie singing, River notices a car. We, as the viewers, don't know what importance the car has, but we know it means something because Stevie notices it too, saying,
Same car.
This is one example of Abi Morgan's use of show not tell. For example, River could have answered Stevie with the exposition about the car that we would need to understand it, but instead, Morgan just gives us the tiny detail of
Same car.
to help us theorize about how the car fits into the story. Later in the scene, when River goes to confront the man in the aforementioned car, Stevie tells him to
Now take it slowly.
This is interesting because River doesn't imagine telling himself to take it slowly. He instead imagines Stevie telling him this, therefore tightening the bond between the two. Then the chase begins, and I love how Abi Morgan uses the chase as an opportunity to introduce the characters in the life of Christopher Riley, the man River's chasing. First, we meet the guy Riley throws the drugs he has to. This guy plays a bigger role in the coming episodes, but it's a nice touch to put him here and show who he is in Riley's life. Just a side note, I love how the music by Harry Escott is timed to fit exactly with the slow motion and then revert back to fast motion here. Also, you meet Riley's wife, Tia, in the same way. And I think Morgan introduced these two characters brilliantly by using this method. And finally, we come to the big reveal that Stevie is actually dead.
What does she know?
Exactly. Exactly. Right, what does she know? What do any of them know?
And what I love about this is that up to this point, we've only seen Stevie as being in the front seat of a car or with her head facing the camera. It really isn't noticeable, but on a second viewing, you see how nicely Stevie's secret is kept from the viewer. And that's the first 10 minutes of River analyzed to show how great the writing is. Abi Morgan uses a combination of in medias res, show not tell, and foreshadowing in the first 10 minutes alone. And the series doesn't let up there. Morgan uses something Andrew Stanton, the director of Finding Nemo, calls the unifying theory of 2 plus 2. In his own words,
the elements you provide and the order you place them in is crucial to whether you succeed or fail at engaging the audience. Editors and screenwriters have known this all along. It's the invisible application that holds our attention to story. I don't mean to make it sound like this is an actual exact science. It's not. That's what's so special about stories. They're not a widget. They aren't exact. Stories are inevitable if they're good, but they're not predictable.
And River does this brilliantly. Thanks for watching.